very blessed to have a sponsor sitting in the front row. May I request the English Literary Association to kindly go and felicitate a sponsor. We also have
11:30 starting.
Dr. Shambhav Gupta with us. I request, he's a former principal of PSSB College. I request English Literary Society girl to kindly go up and felicitate Dr. Shyam Babu Gupta. A round of applause for her. Thank you, sir. Thank you for blessing us with your presence. Moving forward. Before we move forward, I'd like to seek a permission from the chairperson. Ma'am, since the topic is translation and multiculturalism, if you allow us to be a little bilingual, because there are students from Sanskrit and Hindi who also kind of registered with us. So, with your permission, I could be a little bilingual and the students also. Thank you for your permission. Since we have the permission of getting bilingual, but before that, I'd like to request, as the convener of the international conference, Professor Neeru Tandon has demonstrated her exceptional organizational skills and her ability to bring together experts from diverse backgrounds. Her dedication and commitment to the fostering meaningful discussion and facilitating scholarly exchange on the subject has been instrumental in making this conference a resounding success. Since I have the permission of being bilingual, I'll probably invite her with a share, if you permit me. And it's a little one. With every line I quote, I'll probably explain the meaning of it, why I have said that. Ma'am, एक शेर आपके लिए इजाजत। जिस दिन वो शख्स तीर चलाने पे आए, the day she wants us to be a part of the conference, जिस दिन वो शख्स तीर चलाने पे आएगा, हर शख्स मुस्कुरा के निशाने पे आएगा। ये आएगा। आवाज दे रहे हैं उसे 10,000 लोग। We all are from the English fraternity. 10,000 saw I at a glance. She's sitting here, she taught me that. 10,000 saw I at a glance, quoting Wordsworth. जिस दिन वो शख्स तीर चलाने पे आएगा, हर कोई मुस्कुरा के निशाने पे आएगा, आवाज दे रहे हैं उसे 10,000 लोग। 10,000 saw I at a glance. लेकिन वो सिर्फ मेरे बुलाने पे आएगा। प्रोफेसर नीरू टंडन।
Thanks a ton, Master of Ceremony, Dr. Prakash Chandra. Today's confluence is really a matter of celebration, not because we are doing something academic. Most importantly, the luminaries in the field are there, and Professor Neeta Jain, Professor B.R. Agarwal, Professor Johari, who have already given their services to various institutions. Still, if they are here today, that is of course a matter of pride, and I feel blessed. So all of you kindly accept my gratitude. Professors from different departments, senior professors like Arvind Dikshit, who is retiring today itself, and it's his happy birthday, and unofficially we sang the song. So we have Professor Anil ji and senior professors like Anand ji and several of my friends, my colleagues without whom I'm nothing. At every front, I get their support. So now, I pay my respect to the dais, Chairperson Madam Neetu Sethi, Professor K. Elango. He has come all the way from Chennai on his own expense to be here. Professor Ratan Bhattacharya, he is a fellow in University of Virginia, USA, and we are fortunate enough that he is there facing advocate. Professor Vivek Dwivedi, sir, if you don't mind, people were saying father and different other things. I say, in a way, you are the mother of the story. So, there are so many things, but we are truly blessed to have you here and to have you representing us in the national body of the university teachers. Professor Vipin Chand Kaushik, who is, we can say that who is just acting like a glue of Fevicol. Some people were, they needed this Fevicol, much needed Fevicol to glue us together again to work under his guidance. Sir, he knows that we are always with him, but we really thank you for this wonderful thing that all of us are again together with a lot of zeal and enthusiasm just because of your able guidance. My soul sisters, Dr. Supriya Shukla, Dr. Chaya Jain. I owe a lot to them. I don't have words to express. For more than 30 years, we were there in the same department. And whatever I have learned, whatever I am, I owe it to you. My mentor, my teacher, Dr. Neeta Jain, Dr. N.M. Nigam in absentia, she is joining us online. And Dr. B.R. Agarwal, and my other friends over here. My colleagues, the entire department, Professor Pradhan, who is my right hand, and all other faculty members, Rajesh, Ashna, and of course, so my thanks goes to you for that. And in this conference, scholars from Hindi, English, Sanskrit, and law have also they are also joining us. So it's not only international but interdisciplinary as well. Now, I've got the role to explain the topic, what we had in our mind. To me, translation is a science, an art, and a skill. It is science because it requires a deep understanding of the structure and characteristics of both the source and the target language. It's an art because just like dance, it needs creativity to present the text effectively in another language. It is a skill because it demands the ability to overcome challenges and the ability to provide the translation of something that has no equal in the target language. While the West sees translation as carrying meaning across languages, Indian terms focus on different aspects of translation and known as Anwar, Bhashantar, Tarjuma, Rupantar, Arth Vyakhya, Bhavarth Bodhak. But in English we have one word translation. So why this? Because this justifies many theories and types of translation we have. Our keynote speaker will discuss several types and theories of translation, like literal translation, functional translation, free translation, machine translation, interlinear translation, and the 6 main theories that are there now in the course also: sociological, communicational, hermeneutic, linguistic theory, semiotic theory, and various theories of translation. Because we understand that translation is not just a transfer of language. It is a conduit promoting social and shared understanding in our interconnected world. writers of two different cultures, two different languages, two different societies. They are joined, they come together through translation. Translators, they act as the mediator, cultural mediators, because they believe and they try that all voices are heard and understood accurately across the globe. We have Panchatantra, we have Jataka tales, and the translations of these important texts into English enable global audience to appreciate India's storytelling diversity and showcase its cultural tapestry. As Devi said, famous theorist, it is translating consciousness. It's not just a language. Derrida describes translation as a regulated transformation that emphasizes the complex nature. Benjamin, that is there in our pre-PhD course, the task of the translator, he argues, very pertinent point, that a translation should not merely convey the meaning of the original, but should also incorporate its mode of significance. Have you ever heard of Vijayanand Beda? You know, he is known as Shakespeare of Rajasthan. Maybe most of you did not hear, but now our students know him well because they are going through his Rajasthani stories translated into English, his stories being translated into movie forms. So we are aware of Vijayanand Beda. Sometimes we come across Kalidas as the Shakespeare of India. But I believe that Shakespeare could be considered as the Kalidas of England if it could reach the entire world at that time in Elizabethan age. Later, Kalidas's Abhigyan Shakuntalam served as a medium of interpreting Indian philosophy to European scholars. This influence extended beyond England, reaching scholars like Goethe and Harder, Max Muller in Germany. So in Kalidas, I think Anandji, we discussed it at length, that one very important point is that Sanskrit, Prakrit and Magadhi, they were used with ease and naturalness, and the readers could understand and enjoy the linguistic shifts within a single work. So there comes another word, macaronic. Macaronic is the use of bilingual context or languages taken from some other language in one book. I'll give you a very pertinent example. Khusro. Amir Khusro uses two languages at a time in his work, Brij Bhasha and Persian. For example, in his famous ghazal, I think everybody knows that, Zihar-e-Miskin. Zihar-e-Miskin matum tadaful, durai nena banaye badiya. If you go for its English translation, it says, forget me not the sorrowful. Talk to me with your eyes, dear heart. I cannot bear the sorrow of parting. Keep me well within your heart. The sense is conveyed. But is it that generous? No, of course not. Not to me. This Nana Banaye Badiya, into keep me well within your heart, is known as untransability. So a translator needs to be able to recognize the rasa of the word before it can be transplanted into another language and culture. The Gujarati writer Naval Ram terms this the rasa anusar theory of translation, where the rasa of the original is captured by the translator. Another important concept is Sanskrit aesthetics, which is usually used along with rasa is money. It literally means suggestion. Anand Vardhana in his work Dhyana maintained that money is the soul of poetry. We discussed this thing. So what is meant by money is actually a network of meanings that lies beyond denotation and connotation of a word. This often becomes the very essence of a work of art. Now we go through various translations of our Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and other important texts, even Upanishads. A.K. Ramanujan, besides being a poet himself, was a translator who facilitated the introduction of ancient Indian texts. Rabindranath Tagore and Gandhi, I would specifically like to mention them because they have translated their own works, known as transcreation. This act of self-translation has made them the subject of criticism also. People said that you have translated because you want to just appease the Western society, you want to offend them. Sujit Mukherjee even said that it is a forgery because he was distorting his poem to suit the taste of the Western readers. To this, Tagore gave even an explanation. I just want one line from that. Why did he translate? He said, I quote, I was making fresh acquaintance with my own heart by dressing it in other clothes. And after Gitanjali, let me mention Gitanjali Shiri. Her fifth novel, Red Samadhi, has been translated into English by Daisy Ockwell as Tomb of Sand. And in 2022, it won the International Booker Prize. It became the first book in Hindi and the first from an Indian writer to receive that accolade. Needless to say, it is because of the translation. She is as good as she was in her previous 4 books, but now the world knows her. Charles Wilkins, official translator of Persian and the Bengali to the Commissioner of Revenue, was the first to translate the Bhagavad Gita into English in 1784. Now picture this, Bhagavad Gita's wisdom echoing in Western literature, translated into 59 languages, mind it, 59 languages, and people are enjoying the message of Bhagavad Gita, our own Bhagavad Gita, because of the translation. The first translation of Ramayana, it came from a Maulavi named Badayu. That was the first translation. Akbar arranged for the Mahabharata, the Yoga Vasishtha, the Harivamsha, and Bhagavad to be translated into Persian first. Akbar preferred a literary translation to a rhetorical one to maintain the translated version. And this is known as Razam Nama, the book of war. And this, the very important thing is that this book starts with the Ganesh Vandana and not the invocation to Allah. So this is, he then established Maktab Khana. Maktab Khana is a translation bureau established at that time. So translation is nothing new over here. And I feel Anilji would agree that history serves as medicine and catharsis acts as a cure. So it was through Persian that the West first became acquainted with the language and the sacred literature of the Hindus. His great-grandson, Darashuo, he also translated various Upanishads and important Upanishads. Now, beyond these 2 epics, we have several other important texts that are available in translation. One only I will name, Harivansh Rai Bachchan's Madhushaka. He was a professor of English in Allahabad University. And after that, he spent his next 2 years at Cambridge University completing his PhD on W.B. Yeats. Now, but he wrote mostly in Hindi. He wrote Madhushala, Madhubala, Agnipat, Nisha Nimantran, and Bachchanji possessed a commendable proficiency. Later on, he also translated Othello and Macbeth in Hindi. And then his work was translated by many. Madhushala, when it was translated, the Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru wrote its foreword. And while writing the foreword to it, he made a very pertinent comment. I would like to quote that. Pandit Nehru said, "It is desirable, therefore that people even outside India should know something of the modern Hindi. And I'm glad to comment this translation. Nothing is more difficult than to translate the poetry of one language into another. Nevertheless, it is necessary that the good poetry in one language should be translated into another. Other countries and other people might be made to have a glimpse of the spirit of the nation. So I welcome this translation and signed Jawaharlal Nehru. And then only he created the National Academy of Letters to develop the concept of the Indian literature as one literature by allowing all the languages to grow together and by extensive use of translation. We are also discussing multiculturalism. Multiculturalism is not really the coexistence of diverse cultures. It is the celebration of these differences that we have in various other cultures. It is the promise that in spite of the differences, there are certain areas where we can work together, where we can grow. So, translators, they play a very important role in multiculturalism. And it is through these linguistic threads that we weave a more inclusive and understanding world for generations to come. I would like to leave you with a quote by Nelson Mandela. He said, if you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. कब तक हम भाषाओं को धर्म और भूगोल से जोड़ते हैं? हिंदी हमारी, उर्दू तुम्हारी और अंग्रेजी बाबू साहब की। मेरे लिए कालिदास, कीट्स और कबीर सभी समान रूप से पूजनीय। मेरे लिए अंग्रेजी मेरे काल की भाषा है, लेकिन हिंदी मेरे हृदय, मेरे आत्मा की भाषा। चाय, जुगाड़, चाट, बाबू, जलेबी, लड्डू, ताई, मौसी जैसे शब्द आपको ऑक्सफोर्ड डिक्शनरी में बड़ी आसानी से मिल जाए। क्या पता कानपुर का भोपाल शब्द भी कभी आ जाए। तो आप अंग्रेजी सीखिए, फ्रेंच सीखिए, जर्मन सीखिए, हर भाषा को सीखिए, भाषा की सुंदरता को सीखिए, लेकिन कल्चर हमारा अपना, सभ्यता हमारी अपनी, हमें उसे ट्रांसलेट करने की कोई आवश्यकता नहीं। हम केवल उनकी संस्कृति को अपनाने के बजाय भाषा की सुंदरता को आत्मसात करें, क्योंकि अगर आप सिर्फ भाषा को सीखेंगे तो क्या होगा? काबुल गए, मुल्ला हो गए, बोले अटपट बानी, आग आग कर प्राण निकल गए, पास धरा रहा। So we are not going to do that. Savidya ya vimukte, that is knowledge which liberates. Pranam, Jai Sri Ram.
Thank you, madam. We are deeply grateful for your dedication and hard work in making this conference a truly enriching experience and for the wonderful words you just spoken. Now, moving on to session, we have with us a very intellectual personality, my Guruji, Dr. G.D. Dubey. May I ask the girl of English Literary Society to kindly go and felicitate Professor G.D. Dubey. A big round of applause for Dubey. Moving forward, it is my privilege to introduce our esteemed guest of honor, Professor Vivek Dwivedi ji, currently serving as National Secretary of Yayapurto and Principal of BNB College. Professor Dwivedi has devoted his life to the pursuit of academic excellence and the promotion of teachers' rights across the country. अब क्योंकि सर पहले ही आ गए हैं, एक शेर जैसा का स्वागत और फिर गुलों में रंग भरे बाद नौ बहार चले चले बिराओं की गुलशन के पास। प्रोफेसर द्विवेदी।
Thank you, Dr. Confused. Chairperson of this international conference and Joint Secretary of Managing Committee of this prestigious college, C.M. Kusuji, Chief Guest, from Chennai. I think he is president entire. National Secretary. Okay. I will correct it. Chief guest and National Secretary of the time, Professor Lango, keynote speaker, Professor Bhattacharya, Professor Neeru Kandani, who is the convener, and called me here as a guest of honor, Professor Bipin Chand Kose, principal of this college, ex-principal Dr. Chaya Jain, Dr. Supriya Shukla ji, because when professors were allotted to the college teachers, they retired before it. But the personality of Dr. Supriya Shukla is very much above than any professor. She is more respectable in this college and out of the college. In front of dais, ex-principal of this college, Dr. Shyam Gupta ji, ex-vice chancellor of University, Professor Arvind Dikshit ji, all other dignitaries in front of dais and on the dais, and dear friends, dear students, I am very much thankful to Dr. Neeru Tandon who called me here. Topic of this conference is the translation and multiculturalism. Yesterday I called to Dr. Neeru and said, give me some notes about this topic. Because I am not very much aware about it. I am a science student. I am not a student of neither the language nor the literature. So it will be difficult to say something about the topic. She sent me some text and message yesterday night, till yesterday night. I was very much serious about what she sent me, but I decided it's better when the syllabus is, the questionnaire is out of syllabus. Then don't go the wrong way. Either leave the paper or speak less. It is not the good to speak the wrong. There are two words in this topic, translation and the multicultural. In my opinion, culture cannot be translated in any way. Culture is changes from time to time and they are part of the history. At that time, culture either in the India or out of the India, it is the fix for that time. We can't go back in our life, so we can hear only about that culture described by different writers in literature, and literature can be translated. Translation of any literature or any culture provides the better way to understand. Poems of the Nirala is translated in English by Professor Govind, a writer. Stories of the Premchand are translated in English. So without any translation, this can't go out of the boundaries of India. In my opinion, it's only helps to anybody, that maybe scholar or not the scholar, only to understand the culture of past in your own language. By this, you can understand that culture by the heart, not by the mind. So it's a very relevant topic. Organizers are very much thankful for it. They provide a platform to discuss on this topic, to discuss on the culturalism, and to gather all the scholars or teachers of this college and the other college and the student scholars. So I am very much thankful to all of you in personal life and in the life of our teachers association. We discussed so many things, but participating in this conference, I felt it's really difficult to understand the art faculty subjects. I understand it is difficult. So thank you very much. Thank you to Neluji, Abdus and all faculty members of the English department and all respected teachers, senior teachers from different colleges. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's wonderful to hear from academic because once we started with you, we have always seen you in some dharnas and all. But this was the first time I heard you speaking for academics. Overwhelmed. Overwhelmed, sir. Thank you for the insights. Moreover, it is our honor to call Professor Anil Mishra, sir, Department of History, to come up and kindly felicitate our guest of honor. Please, sir, if you could.
After becoming the secretary, this is the first academic program I think you are attending. So on behalf of all the teachers of India, we just offer our felicitations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anil, sir. Thank you for doing the honors. Thank you once again, Professor Dwivedi, sir, for gracing us with your presence and sharing your valuable insights. Moving forward, today we come together to address a pressing concern: the dwindling reading culture among the visually oriented generation of our time. With a deep sense of concern and urgency, we gather here to ignite a movement that will reignite the flame of reading and reinstate it as a cherished lifelong habit. Our kids have lost the reading habit. This age is dominated by screens, fleeting images. The art of reading often hailed as the cornerstone of all the skills. एक शेर सर इजाजत दीजिए कि कागज की ये महक ये नशा रूठने को है, कागज की ये महक ये नशा रूठने को है, ये आखिरी सदी है किताबों के। What I said, Elango sir, was this is the last generation which is enjoying the reading habit. Now it's my honor to introduce our esteemed chief guest, Professor K. Elango, to the illustrious gathering. Professor Elango is not only a distinguished scholar, but also a passionate advocate for the importance of education and reading. His presence here today is a testament of his unwavering dedication to the cause we all hold dear. Without further ado, please join me in extending warm welcome to Professor K. Elango. We eagerly wait for the wisdom and inspiration to share with us today. Thank you, sir. We have Professor K. Elango. A big round of applause for Professor K. Elango.
Distinguished members of the dais and dear friends. Good afternoon to every one of you. Though the conference is on translation and multiculturalism, I'm not directly going to talk about any of these themes, but I'm going to talk about something which is very basic for translation and multiculturalism, that is reading. I think the MCS used an appropriate expression, dwindling reading habit. Okay, so I'm going to address what is there something that we can do about it. That's going to be my that's going to be my focus. We have an association called English Language Teachers Association of India. Dr. Shravan will be talking about it. We are more than 50-year-old and we have got about 5,000 members, 80 chapters across the country. And we have teachers right from primary level to the university level. Because I'll be using the expression we, and you might wonder who this we is. That's the reason I thought that we have been back to about our association. It's this association which is starting a movement called India Reads. I always begin by saying we are starting this movement because India does not read. India does not read enough. So before we go on to look at why we are doing what we are doing, the objectives, and how we are planning to translate these objectives into reality, I want you to look at the image on your right hand side. It's a sculpture made out of papers. It shows the power of the mind, the strength of the mind by reading. It is very suggestive of what we are trying to do. Next one, please. Next one. As it was said, reading is in crisis, reading is dwindling, and we need to halt it. If you don't halt it, what's likely to happen? You know, there is going to be a kind of intellectual crisis, cognitive decay, cognitive degeneration. Because all of us know that reading is basic of everything. It's a reading, it's a mother of all skills. It's reading that makes us become better speakers, better writers, better listeners, even better readers, because reading is a skill. Only by repeatedly engaging with reading, we can become better readers. And it is reading that makes us become better thinkers. These days we talk about different kind of thinking. We talk about creative thinking, critical thinking, analytical thinking, logical thinking, design thinking, several kinds of thinking. You know, all this will go for a toss if you are not going to be readers. That's the reason we thought that we should do something about the reading skill among our current generation of students. A couple of weeks ago, Elon Musk made a very interesting point. He's a maverick, we know that. And he made an interesting point. He says that by 2040, that is 15 years from now, there are going to be 1 billion humanoid robots on Earth. By 2060, about 35 years from now, there are going to be 100 billion humanoid robots in the solar system. And they are producing so many humanoid robots not just for fun, but they are going to be used all walks of life. BMW, all of us like to own that particular car. In one particular factory, they are using only humanoid robots. Humans are there, just you will never merely to monitor what these humanoid robots are doing. I'm mentioning this because the future is going to be very, very key for the current generation of students. Rich nations, prosperous nations, they are going to destroy the poor nations. We talk about demographic dividend. This demographic dividend is likely to become a demographic liability because the rich people, if they are not able to live on Earth, they are going to colonize Mars, they are going to colonize Moon, they will colonize other planets, they are going to go and live there. Whereas we, the poor nations, the Earth will become unlivable and you will find it extremely difficult to live on Earth. So the rich nations which are developing humanoid robots have no concern for people like us. People those who are living in poor countries, the poor people. And that's the kind of big picture. How are we going to tackle this big picture? You know, that's our concern. And if you want to tackle your future, if you want to create a better future, livable future, really becomes very, very important. I'm sure that most of you, many of you are senior professors here, you read the novel of Time Machine, written by H.G. Wells, about 130 years ago. Even today, it continues to be one of the best sellers under sci-fi category. In case you are not familiar with it, the protagonist is a time traveler. He invents a time machine and he travels into the future, a very distant future, not 1,000 years in the future or 2,000 years or 3,000 years. He travels into the year which is 8,02,700 years. And he comes across humans. What kind of humans do you think he comes across? Whenever we think of humans in the future, we think of them very handsome, beautiful, massive, with immense power. But he comes across human beings who are just about 4 feet tall and their IQ is 5-year-old. Do you want to see that kind of future? No, the lesson that we need to learn from sci-fi writers is that whatever they predicted, the last 100 years or 200 years happening proved today. So this is a scary future that our generations, the future generations are going to live. And they need to create a different kind of future. The mark sheet that you are going to get from the universities, you may get MBA, you may become a lawyer, you may become whatever certificate you are going to get are not going to have any use. It is what you are is going to have use to create your future. The future is in your hands against the rich nations. That's the kind of predicament in which we are all in. Next one, please. Will the academia do anything about it? Academia will not be able to do anything for this kind of a future that we are visualizing. The reason is academia is bound to deal only with the textbooks. And textbooks have a different kind of purpose. Textbooks deal with only tests, examinations, assignments, projects, and other kinds of homework that they give. And if at all it doesn't promote any kind of reading. If at all it promotes any kind of reading, it's for intensive reading. But that's not the kind of reading that we are concerned about. We are concerned about extensive reading. Reading for job, reading for pleasure, reading on multiple pollution, reading without any kind of compulsion. Because that kind of reading is going to be the kind of person that you are. If you are going to depend on the teachers, you are going to depend on the academia, that you will be able to create a better future for you, it's not going to happen. I want you to understand the limitations of the academia. So far, academia was doing a great job. We were products of the academia. We were products of the textbook. We were able to somehow create a life for ourselves. But in the future, the education has to be redefined. The kind of education that is practiced will not be of any use. We need to think of a different kind of education. I'm sure that there are we have a secretary with us here. I find the secretaries here, senior professors here, and the members of university are here. And I want you to think of this future very seriously. Till the end of 20th century, the world was by and large safe and stable. But from the turn of the 21st century onwards, mainly because of three inventions, all of us are familiar with these three inventions. What is the internet? Secondly, the mobile phone, and thirdly, the humanoid robots in recent times. And these are going to change the world radically. So that's the reason why I said that we need to have a redefinition of the education that we are going to have in the 21st century or the centuries to come. And let's not differ only on the academia and the textbooks. All of us are familiar with Srinivasa Ramanujan, mathematical genius. By referring to 3 or 4 books, he was able to become a mathematical genius. But the same Srinivasa Ramanujan, when he appeared for the English examination at the tertiary level, he was able to get only 38 marks out of 200. So it looks as though becoming an academic, becoming a mathematical genius, and acquiring the linguistic competence, communicative competence. I'm not saying that these are 2 different things, but the way the mind processes these 2 things seem to be different. Otherwise, Srinivasa Ramanujan would have become equally competent at the language, manipulating the language. The fact that he was not able to become one since he failed in English, that's at least indication that we need to do something different. If you want to become a good communicator, if you want to be a thinker, if you want to create a life for yourself, you need to do something other than what the academia is expecting you to do. Textbook can enable you to learn the subtext, but not language. To gain linguistic competence, you need to read quite widely. Next one, please. And everybody says these days, we are reading quite a lot. But we are reading online. We are e-readers. The question that we need to ask ourselves is e-reading reading at all? Look at the way we are using our mobile phones, because we do much of our reading on mobile phone. Even though we call it online reading, much of our reading is on mobile phone. And we take our mobile phone, we scroll up and down. We scroll as fast as we can. When we are scrolling, no doubt we are looking at the If there are TikTok videos, we are looking at them. If there are images, we are looking at them. The pictures that we are looking at them. But are we really reading anything? If at all we read anything, maybe we are reading one or two lines and not beyond that. No, education theoreticians say that reading is a serious affair. We need to commit our time and energy. We need to concentrate on what we are doing. When we say reading involves at least 4 different components. Reading is comprehending, reading is storing, reading is retrieving, and reading is applying. If any of this does not happen, you can't say that you have read it, you can't say that you have learned it. If you talk to someone who has spent about 5 minutes or 5 hours or more than that, even because some of the students are spending about 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours with their mobile phone, they say that they are reading something on that and ask you questions about what they've read. They will not be able to recall anything because of information overload, fractured attention. That's the reason why neuroscientists said that e-reading is mentally taxing and physically taxing as well. It's physically taxing because when we are reading something on the mobile phone, we impact our eyes, legs, our eyes become dry. And all of us will be forced to wear spectacles in the future. It's mentally taxing because we are not able to store anything because of the information overload. So, if you say that you are an e-reader, we are not discouraging it, but we are trying to find a balance between e-reading and b-reading. That is, print reading or book reading. No, we can't go back in time. We can't tell our students they can't e-readers. But along with it, can you manage to find a kind of balance? That's the reason we started this school connection piece. Okay, now a lot of research has been conducted in different parts of the world. Spain, for instance, conducted a longitudinal study the last 6 or 7 years in different parts of the country, different age groups, and scientific study. They have proved that all the digital tools that we are making use of impact learning. Now, the last 2 decades, we have been using technological devices in the classroom as well. We are no longer even on the blackboard and the chalkpiece. We are talking about whiteboard, we are talking about some other things. And by now, our learners should have become better learners. And the learners have to ask themselves whether they really become better learners. So it's a clear proof that the technology is not making us become better learners. The technology is, in a way, making us bad learners. That's the reason why Spain has decided to go back to basics. They're going back to books. They're going back to handwriting, cursive handwriting. So we as an association, we are taking lessons from this research that has been conducted in different parts of the world. Next one, please. Our association come up with this kind of a logo. The person who designed it got excited about it. You know, he said, he didn't originally think of designing this. When he started designing it, he said that the logo looks like a book, and the bird is carrying the book. Okay, it's a kind of migratory bird, and it will go from place to place, and it will be able to spread the message or the importance of reading. I know that there are students over here. I want you to realize the importance of reading.
Take only 2 minutes. Sorry.
Right, while she's doing it, you know, our association does not have a kind of syllabus or a curriculum or a general framework to impose on the students. We need to find out the interest of every student. Okay, it has to be individualistic. Only then we will be able to make our students become readers. When you are talking about reading, broadly reading can be classified under 2 categories. You know, we talk about fiction and non-fiction. You know, that's what most of us read. If you look at fiction, under fiction there are a number of book types, number of genres. For instance, we have got mystery novels, we have got horror novels, we have got sci-fi, we have got romance novels, and we have got historical novels. And recently, social media has popularized different kinds of novels, microfiction, triples, grapples, autofiction, fan fiction. There are so many kinds. Even though we say that we are reading fiction, what kind of fiction are we reading? When there are so many kinds, are we introducing our learners? Because our learners are still learners. We as a learner person, that's how we describe ourselves as teachers, are we introducing our learners to all these kinds? Okay, our learners should become familiar with the kind of range of text that they have. Only then they will be able to become fully readers. When we want our learners to become readers, we need to show them the range. If without showing them the range, you can't expect them to become readers. And you walk into a restaurant, for instance, we look at the menu, we look at the spread, and we choose what we want to. Likewise, when we want our learners to become readers, we need to show them the range. And the richness can encourage our learners to become readers. Then go back to the previous one, please. You have got a lot of lessons from J.K. Rowling. And she said, if you don't like to read, you're not finding the right book. So, as teachers, our responsibility is we need to get our learners to identify the right kind of book for that particular person. And without finding the right kind of book for that particular person, you can't make that person a reader. That's extremely critical. General English maybe does not happen to our students because it's very general. When something is generic, it does not apply to any individual. We need to be individualistic. So this is a very critical point that we have taken into consideration. Next one, please. When we are identifying books that appeal to our learners, we need to conduct the kind of survey. There are different ways in which we can do it. Talk to an individual to find out the book that gripped him, the book that influenced him, the book that transformed him, the book that he read more than once. Because that is the kind of book he is interested in reading. That is the kind of reader writer he is interested in reading. So for that particular reader, you need to introduce this type of book. And we need to find out that from that particular learner. If you are going to do something very generic, it's not going to appeal to any of the learners. Next one, please. These days we know that many films are based on the novels. And films are adaptations of novels. Can we get the students to read the novel first and then look at the film? Ask them to identify the similarities and dissimilarities. And most of the bibliophiles, book lovers, feel disgusted with the films that are made. Okay, they don't like them at all. So we can ask the students, why is that most of the book lovers, bibliophiles, don't like the kinds of books that are made? Do you like the film or do you like the book? Can you give me a reason? That's one of the ways in which we can get the students excited about what we want them to do. Next one, please. And then different kinds of prizes are being announced at different levels, at the local level, national level, international level. We have got Nobel Prize, Booker Prize, and Pulitzer Prize, and so many kinds of prizes. The advantage is that the prizes are announced throughout the year. It's in the air. Both social media as well as mass media give a lot of coverage to them. It's in the air. And there are lots of interviews, articles written, discussions, lectures. Since it is in the air, can we capture that on the sake of the students? It's easy to get them excited about these things since it is so very popular and since it's in the news. Next one, please. I spoke about this. Next one, please. Next one, please. And I'm talking about non-fiction. These are the two broad categories. And a non-fiction, again, look at the kind of range that we have, the richness that we have. We have got automobile, we have got the autobiographies, we have got the biographies, we have got the memoirs, we have got self-help books, these days self-help books, the billionaires and the millionaires are reading, they're quite popular with all types of audience. And we have got the educative book, we have got religious writings, we have got spiritual writings, next one please. And we have got case studies, historical writings, journal writings. So many kinds of writings. Again, look at the richness of it. As teachers, how we introduce our learners to these things? If you want your learners to become self-learners, autonomous learners, independent learners, not you by teaching you can make them become readers, but by showing them this. I always say that the best teacher is someone who does not teach. The best teacher is someone who facilitates learning, makes learners to become autonomous learners. How can we do that? By showing them the richness, showing them the vastness of it. So I would request my sincere request is that this, the best teachers instead of giving lectures for 1 hour, if you can share with them the kinds of book that you are reading, or allow your students to read, share with the others the kinds of book that they read, I think you are doing justice. You will be able to make your learners become better readers and the better citizens in the future. That's what it is. And look at the periodicals. When I say periodicals, I include everything. Dailies, weeklies, bi-weeklies, tri-weeklies, fortnightly, bi-monthlies, all that. At the time of independence, we had only about 200 publications. But today, we have more than 140,000 publications. And even the most developed countries do not have this. And why is that we are not giving any kind of academic status to these things? Why are we dealing only with one single textbook, a prescribed textbook, when it comes to language? Subjects they can learn from one single book, as Srinivasa Ramanujan did. But when it comes to learning a language, they need to read extensively. They need to read quite widely. They need to read quite extensively. So why can't we give a kind of status? They want to know something about the here and now. It's only the periodicals, it's only the newspapers, the journals, and the magazines can help us. And there are so many publications that are happening. Why is that we are not going to use them? So association is intent on giving these kind of materials important to the curriculum. Next one, please. And again, talking about reading skills, reading strategies. Look at the number of reading strategies that we have. We talk about scanning, we talk about skimming, reviewing, predicting, questioning, inferencing, fast reading, slow reading, next one, please. Comparison, contrast, SQ3R, again there are so many. Now, how we introduce our learners to these strategies? Because they can't afford to use one single strategy to read all kinds of novels, all kinds of non-fiction that we are talking about. They need to become familiar with the different kind of strategies. Even the celebrities, Bill Gates, for instance, reads about 50 books per year. If he reads 50 books per year, he needs at least about 10 years to read 500 books. 20 years to read 1,000 books. So I asked myself how many books I would have read in my life. I don't think I would have read more than 2,000 books. So can we create this kind of awareness among the learners? Learners can become readers only as long as they remain at the school or remain at the college. After that, they get multiple goals in their life. They cannot afford to find the kind of time that they need, energy they need to become readers. So as long as they're with us, can we make them become readers? So they need to know different kind of strategies to read different kind of books depending on the purpose for which they are reading. Any text that you give, we need to make the students become aware that it's only that we call the iceberg. We call the iceberg. What the text reveals explicitly is something very, very simple. If the students want to understand the implicit meaning of it, they need to read between the lines. They need to read beyond the lines. Only giving this kind of creative strategies, critical strategies for our learners to become better readers. These are some of the things as teachers we are concerned about. Okay, only then we can get our learners to become life ready. We talk about becoming life ready, job ready, future ready. All this readiness you can do justice only when you are focusing on these aspects, not merely teaching your text, not merely teaching your concepts, your ideas, your textbook. You cannot be able to do. That's the kind of burden on us. As teachers, I tend to give this analogy. When you go to the airport, we see a number of aeroplanes. Okay, among the aeroplanes, you also find some tiny looking tugs, tractors, pushback tractors. Okay, very often dirty ones. We know that the aeroplanes with immense power can fly so fast, thousands of kilometers. In fact, some of them can fly even 4,000 kilometers per hour. Not normally it's only about 600, 800 kilometers per hour, carrying even 600 passengers. Okay, aeroplane has such an immense power, but it can't reverse even by 1 foot. Okay, we need the pushback tractors. We need the tugs to push the tractors back. I feel that teachers' roles are something along these lines. There are many of us are teachers, learners. Once you initiate them, once you ignite them, once you fire them with the energy, they will be on the road. Like flights, they will take off on the road. But are we good initiators? Are we doing justice? So if you claim that you are doing only textbooks and you are a fantastic teacher, but there's something more you need to do for your learners. So I see the role of teachers is really like that. That's a typical term the technical term that's being used. Okay, pushback factors. So what is it that the guy is trying to do? LTI is trying to come up with the modules for three different levels: primary level, high school level, and the tertiary level. Obviously, because of the reason that the intellectual caliber, their interests are quite different. I mean, the college students, you don't expect to read the kind of book that the primary level learners are doing it. It's not that we have any kind of syllabus. I said earlier, we find out from the students the kind of book that they are interested in. We take a module out of it. The module, we are planning to give these modules for about 3 years, and every year we will be giving about 35 modules. Why 35 modules in a year? Because you work only for about 35 days in an academic year. So every week we will like to give you a module. Okay, and the module is based on what the students are reading on their own. We conduct a survey to find out if the students they read, and based on which we produce a module. When I say a module has four components. It is a video because MC said that it's a visual generation, and we need to take a medium of getting them to see something. So it has a video, it has in-session reading, it has an engagement, and it has out-session reading, and we get the students to read the books on their own. For instance, one of the surveys we found out that the tertiary level learners are interested in reading autobiographies. One of the genres that they're interested in reading autobiographies. And if we give them the materials of books that are related to autobiographies, but the most important thing is we want them to write their own autobiography. We want them to write their own personal history. Okay, only that the learning becomes, they can truly become readers. Learning becomes meaningful only when they do some kind of relationship, only when they can relate themselves to what they are doing. So these are some of the creative strategies that we are trying to adopt among our learners. And here LMS, learning management system, close to the data rupees we have spent on it, okay, to create it, and we are making it a pan-India movement. And any institution which becomes a member of this particular movement should be able to access the material. Only way in which they can access all the materials to the others that they are creating. And they are creating modules also. We will keep creating hundreds of modules for the students. Next one, please. Besides this weekly event, besides that, we are also suggesting monthly events like Authors Day, Book Lovers Day. Only why we celebrate Valentine's Day, we can also celebrate Book Lovers Day. And in the West, it's quite common that they celebrate Dear Love Ever Read and Read. Likewise, there are a number of strategies. Readathon, World Poetry Day, World Readers Day. Next one. Likewise, there are a number of activities. So it's not that we are creating modules and member restrictions. We also keep suggesting. We constantly engage them. It's not like a flash in the pan. Suggest something and then forget about it. So we'll be constantly interacting with the teachers, with the institutions, to keep on pushing them to things. Next one, please. Sorry. Can I go back, please? Annual events. All of us are familiar with spelling events. The spelling, if you look at the words that are given, they are not the words which are used either in a spoken mode or written mode. It's stupid activity, but entire word is class perfect. We are quite happy that in the English students are getting the prizes, they get local recognition. So if you're looking at the words that are given to spell out, these are not the words that are used in our day-to-day lives. And if they can invest this kind of a time and energy in something else, they will become prodigies. So when we conduct, reading activities, can we do something meaningful? Can we encourage the speed reading among our learners? Can we encourage the regular to maximum number of books? Can we award these people? There can be several activities that we can develop those lines, these please. So we also expect the students to keep a portfolio. It's something along the lines of CV. Instead of CV these days nobody respects, because the corporates have understood that most of the students, when they write CV, it's highly cliche, it's very generic, and they are faking very often. They have lost their faith in CV. But if they can show the kind of portfolio that you are creating, which means that this every module that we suggest, we would give them we would assign certain creative tasks. For instance, when I mentioned about the autobiography, we get them to write their own autobiography. Okay, and not for evaluation, but to get the feedback from other members, get the feedback from anyone, so that they can go back to practice. And we also provide the learner. If the program is for 3 years, at different points in time, we will provide the learner as well. Profiling in the sense that we find out whether a particular learner is a reader, if he's a reader, what does he read? Does he read newspaper? Which language? What kinds of books? Does he read fiction? What kind of fiction? Does he read non-fiction? What kind of non-fiction? It's a descriptive profile. And we would profile that particular learner at different points in time. And so that anyone who looks at that profile should be able to get to know what kind of reader that person is. We are not evaluating on a scale 0 to 10. That kind of evaluation will not be of any use. Okay, so the learner himself would get to know the kind of reader that he is possible to do. we are trying to go bilingual. Okay, this is where the translation becomes very important. Very important. You know, in case the learners are not interested in reading English books, then they will the language in which they are familiar. Okay, and we are bilingual, right? We are not monolinguals in the Britishers. Okay, and this competency have to be developed. Next one, please. And how can you popularize reading among our learners? You know, reading, all of us know, is reading is not taught. You can't teach in the classroom, but reading is taught. You know, in your family, if parents read, there is every chance of their children becoming readers. If one house reads, there is every chance of the other house reading. If you as a teacher, if you share what you are reading with your students, you are anyway creating the readers in your classroom. If there are two students in a classroom, they read, and there is every chance of their friends also becoming readers. This is how the ripple effect can be created. I'm going to show you one or two examples how the non-academics are trying to promote reading among people. Next one, please. Okay, in Turkey, for instance, okay, the rat pickers collected the books that were thrown in the base and they created library. Okay, they have nothing to do with promoting reading. Next one, please. In Iraq, for instance, the booksellers are selling the books in the daytime. They leave the books wherever they were selling in the night time. Okay, because they strongly believe that the reader does not steal and the thief does not read. Next one, please. Okay, in the West, this is something very common. You know, people go to beaches for sunbathing. Okay, even then you got the beach like only. Okay, next one, please. And in Kavan Park, you must have seen it in the paper recently. About a year ago, two ladies went to Kavan Park in Bangkok, and they spent some time reading, and they posted that image on their Insta, and seeing that their friends joined them. And their friends also did the same thing. 2 weeks later, one number of people. It has become a movement. You have got it now. London, you have it in San Francisco, you have it in Mumbai, you have it in Delhi, you have it in several places. Okay, because we know that by doing the same thing, we will not be able to get the result that we want. As Ashinka said, winners don't do different things. They do things differently. You as a teacher, in your classroom, in every classroom, ask yourself whether you are doing something different. Only when you are doing things differently, you'll be able to become make our learners readers. Next one, please. So what is it that we are trying to do? Our mission is we want our learners right from the primary level to become readers. And we want them to become voracious readers, passionate readers, devout readers. And we want this learners to become familiar with the different kind of texts that are available to them. We want our learners to become familiar with the different kind of strategies that are available to them. We want our learners to become lifelong readers. If they become lifelong readers, even when the future is bleak, not a bright future, I'm sure that they will be able to tackle the future that we want them to create. Next one, please. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Next one, please. I would like to end with it. I mean, that's an interesting video which says that we would like to start a reading revolution. I like this particular image. Okay, I don't think that an very black image which emphasizes the importance of reading. Okay, in the place of head, you have the book. In the hands, which you are supposed to hold the book, you have the head. And any other image represent the importance of reading. So our association is committed to it. We want our students, if you want to create a better future for your learners, okay, stop teaching the textbook. Focus on the kinds of reading that are important. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable insights. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to witness the official signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between our esteemed organization and EDTAI. Dr. K. Ranko, Dr. Shravan Kumar, kindly join us on behalf of EDTAI. And I request Principal Sir, Neeru Ma'am, and our Joint Secretary Madam to step forward and partake in the formal signing of historic Memorandum of Understanding. Let this MOU be an enduring symbol of our shared inspiration, a cornerstone that paves the way for profound and fruitful collaboration. May our union kindle a literary revolution that shall resonate throughout the ages, transforming lives and leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of our nation. A moment of pride for VSSD College and entire board. It's a chaos. We are also signing another MOU with Chaos Kaleidoscope Indian American Society. Professor Ratan Bhattacharya ji, our principal sir, our joint secretary madam, our convener Professor Neil Tandon,
before I proceed, and I'm not going to speak something on this particular occasion, I wish to convey my heartiest gratitude to all my teachers, those who are sitting with me and on the dais and off the dais, I can say. Those who have imposed the characters in me. तराशा, समारा और इस काबिल बनाया कि मैं आज आपके साथ बैठ के आपके सामने खड़ा हूं. And if I talk about ELTA, English Language Teachers Association of India, and when we listen to the word ELTA, let's tie. We are trying to unite. You are trying to make people come together on a platform. This platform was started, the ELTA came into existence in 1965 with a journal, Journal of English Language and Teaching. In 1969, this association organized its first annual conference and officially registered in 1974. So we are 50 plus years old association. And who are we? What are we doing? We are organizing annual conferences, and every conference is almost witnessing more than 700 participants across the globe every year. And we are moving our conference, we are organizing our conference every year in different states of our country. We are also bringing out 4 journals. The Journal of English Language Teaching, which is the signature journal of our association, and editor, Dr. Neelu Tandon. She is heading, as of now, she's heading the journal, and this journal is indexed in UGC database also. The another journal is Journal of Teaching and Research in English Literature, Journal of Technology for ELT, and the ELT Practitioner. The ELT Practitioner is a journal for school teachers and by school teachers. We have also special interest groups where you can share your own opinion, understanding, and your perception towards any particular groups. We have also published books with Cambridge University Press, and that was a unique initiative from our association where we tried to showcase the world that Indianized ELT, Indianized language, Indianized English is very much important. That's why they published. So if I say these many things we are doing, and recently we have started our movement, reading movement, where we are trying to bring all the Indian knowledge system, which you all know, is a buzzword nowadays, and we are trying to include different genres in it. So those who are willing to join us, they will understand what kind of modules we are bringing. But if I say, let's join us, then the first question came to your mind, why? Why to join? आज मैं जहां पे खड़ा हूं 2008 में नीरू मैम ने मुझे बोला बेटा एक ना मेंबरशिप ले। टीचर थी, मैडम थी, बिना कुछ सोचे समझे कहा जी मैम बिल्कुल ले लेंगे। बहुत कम पैसे थे इसमें, जो शायद उस समय था तब भी ऐसा ही कुछ पैसा जो आज है। अगर हम membership for 10 years, so it's 3,000 rupees. If you take a membership for 3 years, so it is for 1,000 rupees. और उस समय शायद हमने 800 या 900 में शायद ज्वाइन किया। तब से अगर एलटाई की ग्रोथ देखिए सिर्फ 200 रुपए ही हुई है, लेकिन एकेडमिकली एलटाई ने बहुत ग्रोथ किया। सो मैडम ने कहा बेटा ज्वाइन करो। जी मैडम आपने 1000 रुपए ज्वाइन कर लिए। 2008 के बाद उस एसोसिएशन और ऑब्वियसली छाया मैम, सुप्रिया मैम, नीरू मैम और मेरे टीचर्स इन सब के सानिध्य में बहुत कुछ करा मैंने उस एसोसिएशन के साथ किया। कुछ कॉन्फ्रेंसेस ऑर्गेनाइज की, कुछ पेपर्स लिखना सीखा और वो थीसिस मेरी कंप्लीट हो रही थी। कुछ पेपर्स को प्रेजेंट करना सीखा। Then I saw a tremendous change in me. आपको शायद लगे कि मैं कुछ अपने बारे में बता के पोस्ट करना चाह रहा हूं, लेकिन ऐसा कतई हरगिज नहीं है। अपने टीचर्स के सामने मैं कुछ भी बोलूं ये सुई को दिया दिखाने के समान ही होगा, लेकिन उन टीचर्स की कृपा से, उन टीचर्स की गाइडेंस से मैंने आगे बढ़ना सीखा। और 2011 में मैं कानपुर छोड़ के एनसीआर पहुंचा। अगेन नीरू मैम ने कॉल किया बेटा वहां पे तुम्हें रिटर्न नोटा चैप्टर पढ़ना। आदत थी, नाम ही श्रवण है, सुनना है और सो करना भी है मनन के साथ। मैडम का आदेश फिर सराप हुआ और फिर वो चैप्टर खोला मैंने 2011 में। करने के बाद बहुत सारे काम किए, बहुत सारी कॉन्फ्रेंसेस, वेबिनार, सेमिनार्स ये सब ऑर्गेनाइज करता रहा और मेरे अंदर एक अलग चेंज आता चला गया। मुझे नहीं पता क्या चेंज था, लेकिन मेरे टीचर्स छाया मैम से जब भी मिला बेटा बहुत बदल रहे हो। बदलना गलत सेंस में नहीं, बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हो, तुम्हें देख के बहुत खुशी होती है। ऐसा हर बार जब भी मिलता था जरूर कहते थे। 2014 द नेशनल बॉडी ऑफ एसोसिएशन they observed me, I don't know why, but they given me in 2012 they have observed me and given me responsibility of executive member of executive committee, and after that in 2014 they gave me the responsibility of joint secretary of our association in 2014. So I found that if we are involved actively in this association, because they are not giving any monetary benefit, but they are grooming your professional development. They are helping us in attending the conference. If you are a member of our association, then you will be attending the national conferences, international conferences with a subsidized fee. और फिर उस कार्य के साथ मैं जुड़ा रहा। 2016 में मुझे नहीं पता क्यों I was the youngest and I am the youngest national president, vice president of our association. And then we started including many more new things. We are offering the internships, the short-term certificate programs, and this is the need of our by NAC also. They are thinking that we need to conduct these kind of activities. So your students can join us for attending the internships also, and they can learn whatever I have learned. And your continuous professional development is required as a teacher also. So do join us and try to do something for society. As the India Leagues movement which we have started is totally society. We are trying to understand, because since we can say 30 years ago, we have started talking about climate crisis, and I'm very sure if we are not going towards reading habit, if we are not definitely after 20 years, there will be a buzzword reading crisis or intellectual crisis. So my humble request to everyone, please try to motivate our learners to read. और before leaving the dais, कुछ शब्द जिनको मेरे टीचर्स ने मुझे सिखाया था, जिन्हें कहा था, और उसको शायद मैंने आत्मसात करने के बाद ऐसा कहना सीखा कि बिना लड़े मत करना सीख, बिना लड़े मत बनना सीख, कुछ तो हिम्मत करना सीख, कुछ तो हिम्मत करना सीख। ये वो दिन था जब मैं एक पेपर लिखने के लिए मुझे कलम उठाने को सोचना पड़ता था, और आज मेरे गुरुओं की आशीर्वाद से, उनकी कृपा से, I am a published author by Cambridge University, present published. I have 31 books in my credit, just because of their blessings. And the innovation which they have imbibed in me, those 11 patents are establishing that fact that if we have a dedication and dedication towards our teacher, definitely we can do that. But obviously, we will have to go for some kind of scaffolding. So, बिना लड़े मत बनना सीख, कुछ तो हिम्मत करना सीख, दुनिया तेरी हो जाएगी, दिल में उतरना, जरा दिल में उतरना सीख, जरा दिल में उतरना सीख। उनसे मिलना है तो पगले, उनसे मिलना है तो पगले, भूख सवरना सीख, बिना लड़े मत मरना सीख, कुछ तो हिम्मत करना सीख। इस दुनिया से बेशक मत डर, इस दुनिया से बेशक मत डर, लेकिन खुद से डरना सीख, लेकिन खुद से डरना सीख। फूलों की खुशबू से मिलकर पगले जरा बिखरना सीख, फूलों की खुशबू से मिलकर पगले जरा बिखरना सीख। थैंक यू एवरीवन।
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your incisive comments. It gave us a new perspective. Now, let us turn our attention to a prominent figure sitting with us, Professor Ratan Bhattacharya. It's a moment of pride for all of us that Professor Bhattacharya ji has been awarded with the Ambassador of Peace certificate from the President of ICHF Monaco yesterday. So, let us now
any good thing begins with a mistake. This is really a privilege for me to be in Vikramjit Singh Sanatan Dharma College, Kanpur. And it started with one very significant birthday. It's a leap year birthday of Dr. Aurobindo Chittu. I'm very happy that today's program on translation and multiculturalism starts with a tone of diversity, especially on the musings of culture. A nation's culture resides in the hearts and the soul of its. So I think we here fill this posture, fill this environment, which is set ready for discussion on culture, multicultural. Thank you so much giving me the privilege to be here at least for 1 minute. I will in another session and be with you. Thank you so much.
thank you, sir. Is our keynote address. The second session belongs to Professor Bhattacharya. Now, we move forward without further ado. At this point, we have a small presentation ceremony of book translated by Dr. Noreen Nigam and Dr. Shyam Babu Gupta, former principal, DSSD College, Kanpur. Please, sir, it will be our pleasure to come on the dais and present your book. Sir, please, if you could share your words with us.
This book has been written by Sir and translated by our entire chapter president, Dr. Naveen Modi.
Rejected and go to final again.
Sir, we are pleasure to bless us with the thoughts.
मंच पर उपस्थित विद्यालय प्रबंध समिति की संयुक्त मंत्री नीतू सिंह जी, प्रोफेसर रतन भट्टाचार्य जी, प्रोफेसर के दिगांको, प्रोफेसर द्विवेदी जी, कार्यक्रम की मुख्य संयोजिका टंडन जी, पूर्व प्राचार्य वय सुप्रिया गुप्ता जी, जैन जी, कार्यक्रम का संचालन कर रहे प्रत्युष श्रीवास्तव जी, मंच पर आसीन श्रवण कुमार जी, यहाँ पर उपस्थित डॉक्टर अरविंद दीक्षित जी, प्रोफेसर अनिल मिश्रा जी और उपस्थित सभी विद्वान जन। आज प्रोफेसर नवीन मोदी निगम जी, जिन्होंने मेरी उसका ट्रांसलेशन किया है, आज यहाँ पर उपस्थित नहीं है। काम को मैं जब दीप यात्रा के समय निदेशक था तो मेरी पुस्तक प्रकाशित हुई थी एकात्म मानव दर्शन, और हम लोग साथ साथ बैठते थे, उसका डिपार्टमेंट ऊपर था इंग्लिश का, और हम साथ साथ बैठते थे। तो उन्होंने इच्छा चाहिए थी कि मैं आपकी इस बुक का इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेशन करना चाहिए, और मुझे प्रसन्नता हुई कि उन्होंने बहुत मेहनत करके इस बुक का ट्रांसलेशन किया। उसका हिंदी में नाम था एकात्म मानव दर्शन, और उन्होंने इसका इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेशन किया इंटीग्रल मैनेजमेंट। मुख्य टीम आपके विषय संबंधित है, ये अनुवाद भी था, और इसका अपने आप का जो ट्रांसलेशन किया मैंने स्वयं, वो आपका जो विषय है अंतर्राष्ट्रीय देशन में का अनुवाद और संस्कृत। वास्तव में ये जो बुक है, इन दोनों को एक तो अनुवाद की है, और जो बहुत संस्कृति बात है वो एकात्म मानव दर्शन में समाहित है। और जब बात की बात करते हैं तो उसमें प्रबल से विवाद होता है, और जो एकात्म मानव दर्शन की जाति के द्वारा प्रस्तुत किया गया था, इसलिए उसको एकात्मवाद नहीं कहा गया, उसे कहा गया एकात्म मानव दर्शन। जो तमाम विश्व में पहले भी संस्कृति है, और जब एक विषय रखा जाता है तो उसके कारण से अन्य विषय उसके प्रतिस्पर्धा में प्रस्तुत करते हैं। जो कम्युनिज्म है, मार्क्सवाद है, विवादवाद है कि उत्पन्न हो जाता है। तो जब यहाँ पर वाद है वहां पर विवाद भी है, और इसलिए उसको वाद न कह के एकात्म मानव विश्व में प्रत्येक व्यक्ति में प्रत्येक अपना सहानुभूति रखना एक महत्व। जिस जाति ने इस एकात्म मानव को प्रस्तुत किया, जिसमें एक अंत्योदय की भावना भी है, व्यक्ति पे अंतिम पायदान पर खड़े हुए व्यक्ति पर ध्यान देना और उसके अनुसार योजनाएं बनाना, इसके अंतर्गत आता है। यदि हम एक नहर की तुलना करें तो एक जो नहर है वो जहां से प्रारंभ होती है वो अपने अंतिम बिंदु में पहुंच जाती है, लाभ अंतिम बिंदु प्राप्त होता है, लाभ जब अंतिम खेत में प्राप्त होता है उस नहर को श्रेष्ठ नहर माना जाता है, सर्वश्रेष्ठ नहर। इसलिए यदि हम अंतिम व्यक्ति का विचार करते हैं तो समाज का जितना वर्ग है, चाहे वो उच्च वर्ग हो, चाहे वो मध्यम वर्ग हो, चाहे वो निम्न वर्ग हो, हर एक तरह का अन्य आवश्यकता पड़ेगी, वो उसकी आवश्यकता अन्य सभी चर्चा हुई तो मैं करूंगा। लेकिन मैं नवीन मोहनी निगम जी को और बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ कि उन्होंने किया। इस विषय में थोड़ा सा चाह रहा हूँ कि कई पुस्तकों लिखी गई है और एक पुस्तक जो हिंदी में है उसका मराठी में भी मेरी बेटी ने अनुवाद किया है, और इसलिए अनुवाद की परंपरा ज्ञान वृद्धि के लिए है, और ये विषय जो आपने रखा है इसके प्रति मैं बहुत आपको धन्यवाद देता हूँ। जब मैंने कहा था कि जब वाद होता है तो निर्वाद नहीं होता है, तो प्रतिवाद नहीं होता है, लेकिन दो वाद ऐसे हैं जिनमें कोई बात नहीं है। एक विषय आपका अनुवाद और
Now, as Nirubam keeps us reminding us that our English department is not only a department of the family. We have with us two of our elders. The divine presence is a blessing for us. It is our privilege to welcome Dr. Supriya Shukla. I would like to come up and bless us.
As far as I read about him. Chairperson, Joint Secretary, Madam Neetu Singh ji. Our guest of honor, National Secretary AICO, Professor Vivek Trivedi, Principal Professor Bipin Chandra Kaushik ji, Convener Professor Neeru Tandon, Organizing Secretary Professor R.P. Pradhan, and the august gathering present here. I see very funny to hear about a term called cursive writing.